consuming knowledge but never implementing? Do you also obsessively watch knowledgeable content like a drug addict, needing hit after hit after hit, but you never ever implement anything you consume? At this point, you're just using knowledge as a drug. You never put it to use, you only use it to escape. Then you might find all your answers in this video on how to implement the knowledge you consume, and also how to break the addiction of obsessively watching knowledgeable content so that the content you consume serves your highest good instead of turning you into just another addict. So let's get started with why do you consume information obsessively in the first place. So in today's age, all the information is available on your fingertips, but instead of using it for your own benefit, you're abusing it. You're using it to escape the discomfort of taking action, and you're fooling yourself by thinking you're doing something that is improving you, but it's not. Watching content obsessively, you don't you are unable to retain all the information, and the main thing is you're not implementing anything. So you're not changing. You're right where you started. It's just another drug for you. You're obsessively watching information, consuming information as a substitute to action. Because consuming knowledge is easy, but taking action is uncomfortable. That's what you're escaping by consuming knowledge. And it comes with a pretty package because you think that you're doing something that is improving you, you're doing something that's developing you. That's what the package says, but it's not. You're not going to improve unless you act. So consuming all the knowledge is pointless, it's just garbage. So here's a phrase you should always repeat in your head. Here's a phrase you should always repeat in your head. If I'm not implementing what I learn, the knowledge is just garbage. So I'm basically just consuming garbage. It is the truth. If you're not implementing the knowledge, it is just garbage sitting in your head. Now, how to get out of this content addiction loop? Firstly, delete the app from your phone and use all the apps, all the social media, YouTube, etc. Use it from your desktop. I know it's a bitter pill, but you have to swallow it. I'm not here to give you dopamine injected solutions that feel good to you, but that never work. You will still use YouTube, but not from your phone. Use your laptop. So if you find something worth watching, keep pen and paper with you always before watching it, and write at least 3 things you learned from that video. You'll realize most of the time you aren't learning anything new. It's the same knowledge with different cover, a more alluring cover perhaps. Then you'll realize it for yourself that how silly it is to watch content obsessively while learning hardly anything, because you are watching the same thing over and over again, just with a different cover, just with a different human, and it's wasting your time. It's not helping you grow. So why are you watching this? Just to escape. And also, one thing that you should do is keep a pocket notebook by your side all the time. And during the day, write down everything you want to search on YouTube on your pocket notebook. And don't use YouTube during the day. Only use YouTube at the end of the day and search everything you have written on your pocket notebook. But you'll also realize that 30% of the things that you have written, you don't even need to search for that, because right now you don't need that knowledge. You were just looking to scratch an itch inside your brain. You didn't need that knowledge. So yeah, if you practice this, you will realize that most of the time you are reaching for YouTube for just scratching an itch and getting a dopamine hit. You're not really using YouTube for your own well-being and your own growth. So yeah, keep a pocket notebook by your side and write down everything you want to search, and only search on YouTube at at the end of the day, unless you really need it during the day. Another tip will be 80% of your knowledge should come from books and courses, and the remaining 20% you can use YouTube for that. YouTube can never teach you what books can. If you want to learn about discipline, instead of watching videos on discipline, buy a book instead, because YouTube is just the tip of the iceberg, while book is the whole iceberg itself. Why do you want just a little that never works? It's just a band-aid solution. So read books instead of watching YouTube. That will give you a sense of practicality, and you won't feel as passive as watching YouTube videos. And not every problem requires YouTube. You can solve every problem by reading books, because they give you the whole meal, while YouTube is just giving you, what's that called? While YouTube is just giving you trials of the food. You're testing food all the time and then wonder, why don't you feel full and satisfied? Yes, you can absolutely learn from courses, because they are long form and they are basically the whole meals itself, and you're paying for them, so you're most likely you will implement the knowledge you consumed, because you paid for it. And also it depends on the quality of the course. But YouTube, only 20% of knowledge you should consume from YouTube. 80% should come from books and courses. And also watching YouTube is not free. You're paying it with your time. The time you can use to build your own dream life. So yeah, with that I'll end this video, and I wish you impeccable strength.